Musanza Television, the first ever television station in southern province of Zambia. As a television station registered by the Independent Broadcasting Authority in July 2020, we are poised to propagate agriculture, environment, and developmental issues, among others. Musanza Television, viewers first.
This is the Good Governance Program, the hot issue. My name is Vanson Jomba, and today I have my guest in the studio who is no other than Dennis Mutumba. He is a good governance activist all the way from Lusaka West. Good evening to you, Mr. Mutumba.
Good evening, Vanson. How are you today? And good evening, viewers, wherever you're watching us.
We are fine. Musanza is doing fine. We missed you.
Longer time, happenings, illnesses, tragedies, and problems. This is a world of, a lot of hiccups. So, and I'm also committed with other works, so I couldn't afford just to come. My apologies.
Otherwise, we want to thank you for making it tonight. And moreover, we are discussing a lot of issues, especially to do with the current trends in governance and the current happenings. So this is a very nice topic that we want to discuss tonight. And to our viewers, you are free to participate with the number that is on your screen. You can always call us and be part of the program. And for those of you following us on Facebook, you can always drop a comment on Facebook, and definitely you are also going to be part and parcel of the program. And you can also follow us on YouTube. That is Musanza TV Zambia, and you'll be part of this live broadcast of the hot issue. So today's topic, we are going to look at the current trends in governance and current happenings. But before we do that, Mr. Mutumba, last topic, that was 2 weeks from now, back, we discussed about corruption in ministries. But just to make sure that our followers and those who have just joined us today can follow, and also to have a glimpse on what happened the last discussion we had.
Thank you, Vanson. Thank you, followers, and thank you, viewers, wherever you are watching us from. The previous discussion that we had, we talked about, the rampant corruption in the ministries. We talked about the corruption that is Ministry of Education, where recruitment is concerned, and also we looked at, the Ministry of Home Affairs. It has so many security departments. We looked at how corrupt they were in engaging those that are to be recruited. And we discussed a number of issues to do with the system. And I'm sure even in our today's topic, we will ensure that we touch a little bit, because this is a decay that is also, creating a stumbling block for the progress that this government and its administration, should show the fruits that Zambians are expecting today. And we talked about how the leadership of UPND should have a method on how they are going to curb this, rotten system, because it has also infected the new leadership in such a way that if not careful, as UPND government, they may not make it. They may be the worst government ever, because they are running the government, but they can't control the system.
But just a follow-up question. Do you see a change this time around? After we talked, are you seeing any change when you talk of the rampant corruption in the government?
The change is there, but it is very slow, such that it's also creating an advantage to those that rooted our resource to hide certain evidences where corruption is concerned. And recently, we talked about Minister of Health having a statement that 2 patients were discovered that they took drugs that were supplied by a corrupt firm that were given a contract to supply us with medicine. And it is suspected that those patients, according to the investigation, the report comes out that our patient, suffered from taking these fake drugs. So now, the process of following up these culprits that looted our resources, it's quite very critical, and this is the reason why the Commission of Anti-Corruption Commission did announce that they will never advertise their investigation if they want to make a follow-up, so that maybe they will catch many crooks that store our money caught unaware. But to me, in as much as they can not announce or announce, the truth is that these criminals
has been trending on social media of government officials failing to analyze all the pronouncements that the government has been making. And now, what picture do you think, as an activist, that the government is trying to portray, especially the issue to do with the unemployed doctors, and also the numbers that government has actually announced that they are going to employ health personnel?
Vanson, it is very clear the PS previously announced that they will recruit and engage doctors. Those are 800 doctors and about 11,000 nurses. You see? And this is in the public domain, that they never refused at one time, in as much as they assured the nurses that they will recruit them, and the doctors across the country. We need them so much, and possibilities are very high that this government will engage them, because looking at the situation now, where health is concerned, we need more nurses, we need more doctors. So there is no way this government would deny an opportunity for student graduates who are doctors today, that have thrived to pursue their studies for more than 7 years. You get the point? They have about maybe 3 years practicals, 7 years studying medicine. This government would not deprive them the opportunity, because these are people that we are looking for. So as an analyst, to me, I feel that that protest was politically inclined. And there is no way these guys who graduated 3 years down the line, this government, the UPND Alliance, only got into power some 7 months ago. Who is to blame? Who do they want to blame? They were supposed to blame the previous government that could not provide them an opportunity to engage them as doctors after they graduated for the last 2-3 years. So now the protest was untimely, the protest was unprofessional, and in fact it was illegal. So now my quest and my admonition, we are advocates. We need to speak to this government that we need doctors. So there is no way this government would deny them a privilege to be recruited and engaged as doctors.
In relation to our topic tonight, we are looking at social media trends, and some Patriotic Front members have taken it to social media, saying the New Dawn government promised people that in the first 200 days of them being in power, the fuel price would have been reduced to 12 kwacha from 15. And now, to all of a sudden, things have changed to 22, 21 kwacha. Now, looking at the current happenings on the fuel increment, what is your take on the current status of the fuel hike?
It's quite very, very that when the UPND government did assure the Zambian in the shortest possible time they would change things when they get into office. Let me say first things first. Politicians must not talk too much. Okay? The way they see things when they are in opposition and the way things happens when they get into power are quite different. You get the point. Now, UPND assured the Zambians that they would reduce fuel to somewhere 12 kwacha. But the moment they got into power, what transpired? Fuel price increased. They removed the subsidies, which up to now this government is not explaining to the Zambian people. Now, I'm a non-partisan, but I support the government of the day. And I'm there to make checks and balances and speak reality and the truth. Let us not talk too much before we get into power, because we don't understand how the system runs. We don't have an oil field in Zambia. Currently, Indene is down. Okay? Previously, we used to get crude oil and process it. It comes out as a complete product, which we are able to supply, meaning we are at liberty to provide this product at any price that we would want. But this time around, we are importing oil. Let me say fuel. Who are the suppliers of fuel? We get it from somewhere between Russia and the Ukraine. What is happening there? There is war. So meaning the processing of that product, because those people, they supply the oil globally. It is not only affecting Zambia, it is affecting so many countries. Now, for this reason, because we don't have oil field, it means we are suffering in this manner now, because the suppliers have issues, have conflicts with their neighbors. Globally, we are affected. Now, a poor country like Zambia that has a weak economy is more affected. You get the point. What are they supposed to do in this case? It is not their fault to increase fuel, because those that are supplying fuel are private institutions. You get the point? And the government has a right to control the pricing of this same oil which comes into our country. But they cannot over-control the retailer. They can only provide a provision where, the price should be reasonable for the Zambians to access it. They mentioned as ERB board that will continue to revise the fuel price every month, meaning depending on how the market is where they get it. Now, what I'm explaining now, Vanson, is something that is the government was supposed to explain to the Zambians using local languages, so that Zambians understand, because currently the increment of fuel affects you and me, but those that are in leadership, they get free fuel. How are they going to, to back up? Because, Vanson, the transport cost from where you come from to here will soon increase. The transporter will not be flexible to ignore the increment, meaning they will sit as associations, as boards, to also increase, meaning even those that are selling products now, they will have to increase the commodity, meaning a poor Zambians may not afford to survive, because the economy is supported by the fuel.
The issue of revising the price of the commodity every after 1 month, don't you think it's a burden to a Zambian? Because looking at the reduction that government through the ARB made just recently was not even down as compared to whatever was there before. So the reduction doesn't necessarily help any Zambian, and also the increment is now a burden. Where are we going when we talk of the fuel hike?
Vanson, we lack experts in trying to stabilize the increments of fuel price time to time. I may not speak as an expert. I may speak as an activist who is admonishing this government to engage people who understand on how they are going to lower the fuel price. In as much as it is getting expensive where they are getting it from, they must find a way to help a Zambian. Even when the fuel is increased, a Zambian must survive. But I want to tell you, we lack expertization in this field, in the energy sector. Look at the fuel that has been increased twice now. It has been reduced once, less than what was found in the PF government. So now, that's why even the president, I'm sure, I was reading something somewhere on social media that he was trying to encourage and also admonish the ERB, if possible, not to put any increment, because it was increased from 17 to 21 and reduced from 21 to 19 and now increased closer to 22. Will a Zambian survive? That's why we need to create a base of our economy must be very firm, so that whatever comes, whether there is an increment where they are accessing the product, Zambian economy should not shake a poorest Zambian. Today I want to tell you, this is very embarrassing, though it is not the fault of this government, because where they get the commodity, the price has gone high. Why? because they are not supplying as they used to due to the conflict that is there,
it is
a civil war that is between Ukraine and Russia.
Mr. Mutumba, it is where now I'm getting confused of what we are trying to explain. It was now my next question, who is causing the hike of fuel and also electricity? Now you are saying the Zambians are being burdened. And just recently you said there's no credibility in terms of experts. There are no experts even to come up with a good price that will help a poor Zambian. And you are alleging to say it's the international market. Where are we going to?
You know, in my own view, before I answer on electricity, let me first answer you, as you said, who is causing the hiking of fuel price? It is not the Zambian government. It is where we get the product. Why? We don't have a processing plant that is running currently, because Inden was dependable and Zambia depended on it because we are getting cheaper crude oil, process it here, supply the Zambians, and they were getting it at a reasonable price. Now, we are down with Inden. In as much as Inden is down, even if it was going to be there, fuel price of fuel would have risen. Why? Where we get oil, there is an issue, Vanson. This is what I expect under the Minister of Broadcasting and Information. Mama Chushu will have come up with a statement that enables Zambians to understand what is happening. For example, I cited an example on social media one day. Get me clearly. I used to supply carpenter as an entrepreneur. Carpenter was bought at somewhere 1,200 kwacha per bag. But because of demand, as time goes on, carpenter was on demand and the price increased to 2,000 kwacha. Me, I was selling a meda at 80 kwacha. When it has increased from 1,200 to 2,000 kwacha, are you telling me I'll continue selling at 80 kwacha? I will have to increase the price. And so now, even when you send your wife to go and buy carpenter, she'll find that today it is at 250 kwacha. Why? The carpenter, where we get it, the price has risen. Okay? Maybe because of the diesel for those rigs that purchase carpenter, they have also a challenge of fuel. Now, I'm trying to say, you can only hike the price of your product when you get it too expensive because you need a profit. Government itself is not supplying fuel. There are private institutions that are selling this product on retail price. As a result, when it is expensive there, it is also expensive in Zambia. What do you do as a government in such a manner? From a stressful economy, where this fuel, when it is increased, it affects also Zambian economy. Government must come with a solution. It's either we bring back the subsidies to help a Zambian move on softly and enjoying the life.
I thought maybe it was a strategy because there was last time on this same platform when we were discussing about the subsidies. Don't you think it's a strategy by government? And why do you blame the international market? Because you are the same people who are advocating and also received well the announcement of subsidies. Don't you think now they are trying to play the mathematics?
I received it well to remove the subsidies was now to show the Zambian people that the actual price of fuel wasn't what they thought. There was a trickery game in the name of subsidies, and yet individuals were benefiting because they were given an advantage to supply the same fuel, yet this government failed to pay the suppliers. Now, it's one complicated issue. It's one complicated issue. Imagine even us, who are thought to be a little bit educated, we may not even understand on the mathematics that is being made for this, hiking of price, the way it is coming now. We have no option. As an activist, I don't just criticize, I'm also providing a solution. We have no option but to bring back the subsidies. Otherwise, the situation the way it is, where we get the product, if it continues, you expect the fuel price to even raise more higher, not only in Zambia, but in many other parts of the country. But now, for a poor Zambian, are we going to stand smiling when the fuel price is increasing every day? No. Who blame the president? Because they assured the Zambian people that when we get into office, we'll give you cheaper fuel. But it's not the case because the source has issues. The supplier wants a profit because as a government we are not providing the commodity to the Zambians we depend on.
And obviously bringing back the subsidies is hanging yourself, because obviously the money that was supposed to be used for fuel and also electricity maybe has already been channeled to other sectors.
As much as this money has been channeled to other sectors, there must be an emergency source to support this challenge, because this challenge will make Zambian people to begin to insult the new leadership, because they don't understand what is causing this. In as much as those funds were channeled to education, this same education will be affected because the fuel price is hiking, and it will hit the economy. This same sector will not have a funding the soonest. So there is need that this government goes back to the drawing board. They must not be comfortable, because with them as leaders, they are getting free fuel. But a Zambian citizen, an electorate, is feeling the pain. Already, Vanson, if I'm to tell you to say, let's go to Lusaka, what I was spending a few days ago and what I was spending now is quite costly. Everything will be increased. No Zambian who is running a business will say, no, let's just wait until the war is over. Let's just wait until this government works on. They must quickly come. This is an emergency. Zambian economy is bad. So if fuel is increasing, and it is yet to increase again, you get the point? Very soon, we may buy per liter 25 kwacha per liter.
They assured the Zambians of the fuel reduction in price.
They did not understand how this government runs. There is a system, Vanson. I'm saying a system. It's supposed to be well understood by these people who speak louder. That's why there is a proverb which says, you learn not from yourself, but you learn from others.
You are coming well, Mr. Mutumba. You are coming well, because you blamed that the hike in fuel price is because of the international market, and you are talking of that this time around they didn't understand whatever was happening in government. Now, who is to blame this time around for not fulfilling the promises?
I may say I don't have anyone to blame, but it's a lesson to the opposition. It's a lesson to this government that they must understand what transpires when running. You may not have everything to control. Okay, imagine today, in as much as the international market, they've risen the wholesale price, the barrel, okay, which a common Zambian may not even understand. Can this government say, us will sell fuel at 5 kwacha? The answer is no, because we are not providing the product as a government. Private institutions are the ones that are supplying fuel. So there is a policy that you can't control everything, but you can reasonably come to an understanding that will be more favorable to every Zambian. The government cannot command, in as much as the price of fuel on the market is expensive. This government will not say reduce it to 12 kwacha, because there is a private institution that is supplying the fuel. So because of a regulation board that regulates the price, they only negotiate and bargain with the private institution. They can't control it.
Are you telling us that the New Dawn government has been failing to communicate well to the public on the increase and the reduction of the fuel and electricity?
Also, when you use the term they failed, you must understand what you're talking about. What is failure? Failure is to have something that you can do, which is closer to you and available. You fail to manage it. This government has come to run this government when, things are not okay.
I thought communicating to the general public was a very simple thing, because we have got people in ministries of communication. I thought it was very simple.
This is where we are having a challenge. The project that I have as an advocate to communicate to the people, okay, on civic issues, on governance, this government has not done much. Even this same issue of fuel and electricity hikes, tariffs, you get the point. If it is not well explained and interpreted, this government must make an awareness. This is the situation, comrades, electorates, our citizens. This is how we prefer to work on it. They have not done that. There is this increment. They are not explaining. Only those that are on social media are trying to get this information, that information. But an ordinary Zambian who is among those 2.8 million who voted, very few understand what is going on. All they hear is that fuel has been hiked. The reasons are not known. There is no address by the government leadership to communicate to the people. Where possible, in my own view, I feel that it is time for the president to address this nation, that things are not okay. The way I expected to run this government is ABCD, but what I discovered therein is quite different from what I saw when I was in opposition. Now, my apology, I want to begin to work things slowly, but there is no such kind of pronouncement. They are quiet. They only communicate to people that are on social media. What about a person in Shangombo? What about a person in Mulobezi? Is he aware about what is happening? No. We admonish the government to properly communicate and effectively so that every Zambian get to understand, to avoid blaming the new government, because the situation is quite very stressful. Even if it was going to be me as a president, I would have not managed, because the way the system is managing the affairs of this country is quite miserable. And I want to tell you that even up to now, PF is still ruling. You do not agree with me, and I want to speak so strong that if this government is not careful to check the system that is running the affairs of this country, it will be the worst government that people will even regret. But the president, let him be very strong before you say. Mm-hmm. Let the president be very strong in checking out the old characters.
Mr. Mtumba,
remove the rotten system.
Mr. Mtumba, you don't mislead the people. It's the new dawn under the UPND government. And you are saying PF is still ruling.
Let me tell you one thing, why I'm saying PF is still ruling.
Why do you want to mislead the people?
I'm not misleading. They must understand me, because I'm very analytical. And I'll be very articulate. You can change the government, but you can't change the system. If this institution, this media house, was run by an appointed director, and you are people that are fully employed in this media house, when I come in, if I'm appointed by the board of directors to run this institution, if you are corrupt, you continue to do crooked projects. Because I'll just be there to ask you, what have you done? How are the programs going on? You have a system that you never explain to me. I'll only be seeing things not working. I'm trying to say that New Dawn government has come with a thought to liberate Zambians from corruption. But the same people that are said to be corrupted are still holding them up.
I'm sure you've heard of a board of directors being dissolved in different institutions. So I'm wondering what you are trying to explain.
Board of directors in many parastatal organizations have been dissolved.
I thought that was the route that the Union government was taking.
In as much as the board of directors has been dissolved by the energy minister, there is still a system that is running ZESCO. There is still a system that is running these other energy sectors.
And obviously it's what the New Dawn government is trying to fix.
Serious viruses that have remained. How do you remove these viruses? Directors have been removed, but the viruses are still there, working systematically to root our resource. And even working so bad such that the image of the president is deformed. That he has failed. When an organization is failing to operate, manage the affairs of projects that are for the Zambian people, the person that they blame, it is the president. It is up to him now. If he wants to avoid this blame which is coming to him, let him find a method to clean the virus in the system.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mutumba. We'll now go for our short break. When we come back, we are opening the phone line that is on your screen, and you can always call us and send text messages so that you are part and parcel of the program. Let's go for a short break. When we come back, we continue with our topic and also with your engagement through phone calls.
Certain jobs require strength. Other jobs require patience. And while others just need mere persuasion. Join me, the Job Ranger, as I hunt for jobs and show you some of the toughest jobs and simplest jobs people do for a living in Zambia or Africa at large.
And I already feel dehydrated. Now, these people have to do it every single day, doing what I'm doing right now.
The Job Ranger, only on Musanza TV.
Hi friends and relatives. Are you looking for a vibrant college in Zambia? You can always come to Untitled Travel and Tourism Institute and start with us for the next intake and get a job thereafter within or abroad Zambia. See you soon.
Untitled Travel and Tourism Institute is now enrolling students for January, March, June and September intake in the following professional programs: Advanced Diploma in Tourism and Hospitality Management, ICM UK; Diploma in Travel and Tourism, TVETA; Advanced Diploma in Business Studies, ICM UK; Diploma in Business Administration, TVETA; Advanced Diploma in Journalism and Media Studies, ICM UK, and more professional courses on offer. Apply online on www.wtti.edu.zm. Buy an application form at 100 kwacha only. Come in person to Kenneth Kaunda House, Premier Hotel, 2nd floor, Cairo Road in Lusaka. Send your results on WhatsApp to 0977 603389 or call 0966 603 389. Send us an email to wtticollege@gmail.com.
Take advantage of a 50% scholarship by registering with us.
Thank you so much for staying with us, and we are still in the Hot Issue program. It's a good governance program, and I'm not alone in the studio. I'm with Mr. Dennis Mutumba, a good governance activist all the way from Lusaka West, discussing issues. And of course, today we are looking at the trends in government and also the current happenings in government. Now, we're just talking about issues pertaining the fuel hike and also electricity hike in government, and also the announcement. Has it been well received by the general public? Now, moving on in the program, like I earlier mentioned, that you can also call us now. The number is on your screen so that you are part and parcel of the program. You can call us to ask or contribute in the program. So we are moving on, Mr. Mutumba, to issues to do with the CDF. We have heard complaints from the members of the public complaining about the CDF and others who have been applying so far to access such. They are also still requesting that maybe government can extend the time of applying. Is it that the communication hasn't been good to the public? When we talk over the CDF, and now that everyone knows that government has increased the allocation.
Vanson, the huge challenge that we have under this leadership, and let me also say under the previous leadership, is communication part. Making an awareness program of every project project and program that comes, which is meant for the Zambian people. The CDF fund was introduced by Chiluba through all these leaderships. They've been CDF, but it has not worked to the intended projects and intended purpose. Other constituencies were given this package, other constituencies were not. But it was yearly announced, even in the previous leaderships. Now, the new Dawn government, for the first time ever, since we got independence, from the introduction of Constituency Development Fund, as you have just stated and indicated, they increased it from 1.6 million to 25.7 million. This was amazing. Why did this government decide to do so? The president was very intelligent in his administration to make sure that every Zambian benefits from this package, because many of the times this package was abused by the MPs. Are you following, Banso? But under the new Dawn government, which is UPND Alliance, they thought, let us increase the allocation so that every Zambian and all developmental projects must be done in those communities, in the constituencies, in the wards, to reach you, Vanson, if you're coming from the village, meaning from this amount of money that is hugely allocated to this, to the Ministry of Local Government in conjunction with the MP and the Minister of Finance, is to make sure that every Zambian benefits. These are the new guidelines under this same fund. Okay? I want a little bit to go deeper so that we make it known to the public. Those that are following this topic must know that this money came for them. It is no longer controlled by the MP alone. There is a committee in conjunction with councils in respective districts where these constituencies falls under. Money, the 25.7 million has been allocated, though not in full, but the money is already in the accounts of constituencies in the councils.
You forgive me, let's try to engage callers. Hello, good evening. Thank you so much. Your name and where you are calling us from? This is Sakala. Thank you so much for coming through to the program. You can go ahead with your contribution.
My contribution, I don't know the program. I just know you.
Okay, this is the Hot Issue program. You are live on TV. If not for tonight's topic, maybe you can call us just after the program. Thank you so much. All right. Okay, now still call us, and definitely we are passer of the program. We are just trying to explain something about the CDF.
Yeah, so this money is for constituents development. And lucky enough, there is also an empowerment package in the CDF, which is allocated a percentage. There is 40% for empowerment.
Thank you so much for coming through. Your name and where you're calling us from? Mr. Gilbert, this is the Hot Issue. You can go ahead with your contribution.
Yes, please. I think
What the UPND government has been trying to do, they are saying, and they came into power with the issue to fix things. Don't you think they still need time? That one. All right, you can be part of the program by calling the number that is on your screen, and you'll be part and parcel of the program. Mr. Mtumba, with this call coming, and also in relation to whatever you are saying.
Yeah, it's not for this government to be that part of the process
Somebody, but before you move on, I'm trying to wonder, because this time around, if people can say that the new government, literally they have done nothing according to different minds, and you are saying 5 years is too small, but people of Zambia gave the Patriotic Front the mandate to rule the nation more than 5 years, and yet they ousted them into power, out of power.
I don't agree with those who have said they've done nothing. There are a lot of good things that this government has achieved. Okay? Just the CDM itself is an achievement. Assuring the Zambian people to engage 30,000 teachers. It makes a difference. But the only things out of these promises, okay, they must begin to work on them. They should not be verbally promised. They must implement what they've assured the Zambian people, because these teachers are expected, nurses are expected, the youths are waiting for the jobs, the youths are waiting for empowerment. It's up to them. If they want to continue serving as UPND Alliance, they must work at fulfilling the promises that they assured the Zambian people. And we are there to encourage them. That let them not be confused with the current situation, but they must just work on, methodical ways of bringing up these things to be real, so that those who are criticized, who are making checks and balances, they may see that this government really did promise to the Zambian and they've done it. But if they can't, the ball is in their head. These are the calls you are receiving. Because I don't know whether this brother is one of the teachers who is expecting to be recruited, or he has a brother or a sister who is expecting to be recruited. He's speaking his thought. Now, in as much as he's speaking his thought, to me 7 months, it's so early for them to fulfill everything. It is not even fair to blame them at 100%. We must give them a chance. There is a 50% period we are going to give them. Next year, we want to see from what they listed to promise the Zambian people how many things have they done. Even the same CDF we are talking about, there is an allocation of 25.7 million. We will see by the end of this year, has this money come to the constituencies? Already there is a package that has come under the empowerment program of student bursary, those that are going for secondary school and boarding schools. There is already 630,000 in the accounts of every constituency through their councils. So meaning this government has already started fulfilling the program. But the problem that is there, I'm a chairman, I've mentioned it before. I sit in the committee to look after these funds. I'm a citizen. What I'm admonishing this government is that let them just communicate the citizens, because the information has not reached everyone. It has reached only about 10% of all the Zambians, the 18 million. The communication part, the community methods are very poor, and we are encouraging this government through their respective members of parliament, the council secretaries, the district commissioners, the council chairpersons, and also councillors, traditional leaders, and all civic leaders, to communicate to the least people in the country so that they see that this 25.7 million can change their lives, because there is a 20% to give the vulnerables that are not able to access funds. They will be empowered for free. There is a 20% which will empower the youths and the women for them to take loans, start businesses. So long they form crafts, but the information has not reached the people in the rural area. The information has not even reached here in urban cities. Most youths are still playing around in the streets trying to get cheap money from these minibuses. Why can't they be told that there is this money, form an association, buy minibuses so that you stop becoming donors? You run your own minibuses. The information even here in Mazaboka is not there. Information in Lusaka is not there. I'm called by women time to time. What can we do about this money? How do we access it? I've told you. ABCD. This is the process which the government would have done long time. We have a problem with communication. This money can change the lives of the youths, but in the manner it is communicated, it is quite very pathetic. What development committees in each and every one, they are not doing the best to sensitize and make an awareness for the youths and the women and every Zambian to understand the guidelines enshrined there in the CDF Act. The information is not wrong. MPs, before you say, MPs are responsible. Where I come from, my MP is going around to educate the admins, the councillors, the people that there is this money, do such projects, so that at the end of the day our constituents can change. And we have already started. We already did 2 projects from the previous CDF fund. For your own information, we are building 2 clinics. The other one in Nampea, the other one in Mutombe. That is Mwebeshi constituency. And if you are following me on Facebook, we just did the groundbreaking ceremony. I've not seen it in any other constituency. From all the 156 constituencies, I've not seen any project coming from the funding that UPN released when they just got into office. Why? There is poor communication. I don't know where this money will go for those that have not used it to do projects that are intended for the community to benefit.
Don't you think that that blame goes to the chair and the committee? For you to engage the MP and going around to sensitize people, other than waiting for government officials or government at that level to announce or to take the message to radios or different media platforms.
All of us, even us as a committee, we must work well. I was just talking to the council secretary in my constituency, where I'm now heading the committee, that they must communicate to the public effectively.
Through their committees.
We have urban areas and we have rural setups. When they advertise in an urban area, not all rural people come and see that advertisement, that there is a funding that has come. They must use media houses like this one, pay for an advert, which will be advertised up to that period when they feel submissions have been done and people have gotten the information. But what they've done, this council, they've sat on the money, they are using the same money for their administration purposes, but they are not doing enough to communicate through social media, to communicate through radios in local languages, because we have other people that cannot access Top Star 93 channel. We have other people that have DSTV, we have other people that are still using GoTV. Why can't this government collectively as a country make these adverts so that every listener, every viewer, every Zambian, every electron should have this information? Oh, we can form a club, we can form a business, we can form an association for us to access money, because the president's aim to increase the allocation is that every Zambian, from the least person, must have a benefit. But the leadership has not done much. I'm to blame if I don't communicate, but thank God I'm positive today, because with my MP and my council, we have communicated. Tomorrow I'll be advertising on radio wave, because that is a catchment area for my The rest, we must fight together that this government will get this money is meant for us.
And the package, do you think the new Dawn government is going to fulfill the promise of increasing the CDF funds?
I'm confident that if they work to change certain methods of financial discipline, they will manage to fulfill the 25.7 million each and every constituency. But if they don't work so hard, they will not even manage to allocate 50% of the 5%.
Hello, good evening. Thank you so much. Your name and where you're calling us from? Shukuru Mwape, you are through to the program. You can go ahead with your contribution. So much. That was quite a good question. When we talk over the CDF, and obviously this is the question that is in everybody's mind. When we talk of submissions and applications, and people are still wondering, obviously he's basing to where you are saying your constituents, you have done the groundbreaking of, is it a clinic or what, 2 clinics? So maybe you can quickly answer him. Is that CDF on the table, or maybe it's just the talk in the ocean?
Thank you, my brother, for your question. This is a very, very powerful question, which you have not just asked for yourself, but I'm sure you're asking on behalf of others. The CDF fund is the money to develop your area where you're going to live as a community member of your state of work. This money is already allocated. Remember, just 2 months down the line, the Minister of Local Government did announce that we have allocated the money for 2021 CDF fund, and it has gone in all the constituencies. Us as professionals where I come from, we received that money and we have already started using it. We have sunk boreholes on the sites that were given by traditional leaders, and the materials are being bought right now. We have advertised the bidders, and the bidders are yet to be announced any day from now. I'm calling a meeting to know who will construct these mini clinics in our constituencies. Now, I'm wondering, I've not seen any media, because us, each time we advance in our project, we advertise, we play it on the social media. I'm announcing to you. I don't know whether here in Mazabuka, where this Musanza TV is, I don't know where my brother, where he's coming from in his constituency. I don't know whether there are such kind of pronouncements that there are this project. Him, if he's coming in a one, he must know what is happening using this money. Every Zambian, every member of the community in every respective constituency must know how the money of CDF is being used. They must see things happening. You get the point? Because previously, the MPs were using this money dubiously, but now under the new Dawn government, the president has emphasized that let this money be used properly. In my constituency, things are happening. I don't know where it's coming from, and I wonder why it is not happening. What is the problem? So now I'm saying this money is real. So far, so good. From the same percentage of 20%, Manson we have already received in our accounts. I'm signatory. There is a 630. There's a 630,000 budget, and I want to believe in every constituency this money through the councils are there to allow our vulnerable students that we are not able to pay for their school fees to access this money. And we have made a public advertisement, and we have applications that are coming through the Work Development Commission. Why is it not happening everywhere? What has the government done? Because we are wishing this government to use other methods of communication so that there is this powerful educative awareness program that will enable everyone to know what is supposed to be done in order to access this money. what is supposed to be done in this country. We must have an understanding. That is what needs to be done.
And obviously, you know and you are pretty aware that these committees have been there before. And now that the new Dawn government has increased the allocation, we believe the same people in committees have got their own people to benefit. How credible are these committees, and how are people going to believe in you? Especially now when we talk of opening cooperatives, youths and women for empowerment.
I'm the chairman. I'm advised that we are both this is how the committee is composed. Are you following? Now, the guidelines provide our duty to approve that was submitted by the community through the Ward Development Committee, which are also composed with the average. So now, we have no capacity whatsoever recommend and put our own. It is the community that decides what is supposed to be done under this branch. Our duty, my duty, after we have agreed as a committee, my duty is to endorse the signature that as agreed as a committee, we therefore approve or disapprove to get the vote. It is the community that begins to choose, because this time around, this government is working to give a privilege to people so that we have a government that is people's freedom. We don't want to come out deliberative, sorry to mention this. My MP, we said we have a challenge of a hospital in our constituency. We have a challenge of a skill training center in our constituency. We have a challenge of a road that needs to be done. What do? We ask the councillors that councillors, you can also give a guide to the community. They prioritize what is emergency, what is a matter of urgency, so that they submit through their words and us. Our duty is to guide and also provide better information for them to do something like this, which will stand the test of time. So what you are saying by us recommending those that we wish, it does not work. We are there, we have noticed that these councils that are supervising these funds as administrators, they are somehow crooked by maybe allowing leaders that will do the contract. Maybe those are people that they know. But us as a committee, we are there to see to it that people that are taken to do projects for the community are genuine people. People that are recommended for bursary are people that are really vulnerable. People that will be sponsored for skill training are people that are in need. So that when they are trained with their skills, as I've just mentioned, that we have a fund also to sponsor those that will go for training in the skills of plumbing, in the skills of carpentry, in the skills of electrical engineering, in skills of welding. When they graduate after the sponsorship under the CPA, these are people that will pick to be contractors to do electrical works under our projects through these funds. They'll do the plumbing, in putting up the sewer lines. So this is our thought. But now, how I wish this government would have explained in this manner. I want to tell you, we have already managed to reach about 90% of the Gambians who have known how good these monies are meant for us and how they can access it. Because we have vulnerable needs that are moving in the streets, which we need to empower under 20% of this sector.
Thank you so much. This has been awesome. But before I let you go, you can give us your concluding remarks.
Benson, how I wish we had enough time to talk and talk and talk and talk. My point is, no matter what the situation is in our country today, where we are affected by the day economy, through the hiking of fuel price, which is not the fault of this government, our duty as a government, or the duty of the government, is to communicate to the people, give them hope, because they already said in the beginning that they will increase it to reduce it. So now, this explanation is only not new. Let me, has any ordinary Zambian known what it means? Now, it is not their fault. The source of fuel is where there are issues. As a result, fuel has become on demand because there is war. In the manner they supply it in bulk, they are no longer doing it. As a result, there is this increase. I admonish this government through the Minister of Information and Broadcasting. Let this government communicate the electorate. Second, this CDF money will change our lives only if we work together to give information to them and they know how to access it. Let MPs, let the councillors, DCs, the council chairpersons, let them be able to communicate to the people, because away from CDF, there is a small and medium enterprise ministry which can render you money as a business use, as a business society to run a business. This information is not there. People they don't even know that it is small and medium enterprise, including even the minister who is running that institution. Maybe doesn't even know how to manage it. They would have gone across the country.
Some 2 weeks ago, the minister was on the ground. He was going round all the districts just to explain about that and meeting the youths.
They must sponsor the information about this ministry on the media, going around through Chwala, through this ceremony. Not everyone will know. Vanson, we need to do a business where this government will lend us the money for our lives to change. Finally, we are passing through a lot. People are committing suicide daily. People are involved in an accident. I was also involved in an accident, but I thank God God may preserve my life because I have a lot to do, maybe because I'm a sinner. He has given me one small eye. This country is a Christian nation where you and me, Vanson, we are living by the grace of God. These wars that are happening, these accidents that are happening, the suicide issues that are taking place, it is the devil that is working. So you and me, we should not be relaxed. We are moving by the grace of God. Otherwise, we must be praying because we may be involved in an accident. Very soon, because of the stressful situation of losing finances, having no money, don't commit suicide. Put everything in God. God will bring an angel who will solve your issue on your debts, who will solve your issues on your monies. Trust in the Lord. We should not commit suicide because a girlfriend has left me. Is she the only person? This is nonsense. I want to tell you, to those of us that are still living and who are watching me today, I am speaking now as an elder, that let us trust in the Lord. All things will move well with the Lord, because whatever is happening is a sign of the end. We are not going to live forever in this world. The end is coming. And Jesus, in the book of Matthew chapter 24, he says, when you see all these things happen, look up, because the end draws nigh. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and let me thank our viewers for participating, especially those who called in the program to contribute. Your text messages have helped us, and those who are following us on YouTube. Thank you so much, and God bless. Let me thank you, Mr. Mutumba, for coming to the program.
Well, this leadership will be more fair. And we don't want to hear people condemning the leadership of the church. We love it, we are confident things can change. What we need is to change the system and come with everything.
We are back next week on this same platform, The Hot Issue, and my name is Vanson Jomba. I was having Dennis Mutumba, a good governance activist, talking on issues trending and also happenings in government. Until next time, for now I'm saying good night.